The betrayal hit like a blade, twisting in the chest. Emma stared at the glowing phone screen, her breath unsteady, as Ryan's message burned into her mind. "It's over. I've found someone else," she whispered. "After everything, this is how you end it." Rage and heartbreak collided, her trembling hands clutching the device like it might answer back. Emma had sacrificed years, trusted blindly, only to be discarded. The apartment walls felt like they were closing in, shadows stretching with her despair. A storm raged inside her as tears blurred her vision, but beneath the anguish, a seed of defiance was planted. Emma said, "You think you've broken me, Ryan, but you've only awakened something you'll regret." Emma sat in silence, the world muted around her. Her mind replayed every moment she shared with Ryan, each memory now poisoned. She whispered, "How could you erase me so easily?" The betrayal sank deep, her chest heavy with grief. Yet in that quiet storm, anger ignited. She thought of how much she sacrificed. Dreams set aside, friendships neglected, all for him. Now, discarded like she was nothing, she realized his betrayal was a twisted gift. Emma said, "If you wanted me gone, you should have buried me, because I will rise stronger than you ever imagined." The next day, Emma met her closest friend, Sarah, at a quiet cafe. Sarah leaned forward, whispering, "He doesn't deserve your tears." Emma replied, "It's not about tears anymore. He betrayed me and flaunted it." Sarah's eyes filled with concern, but Emma's voice hardened. "He thinks he's untouchable, but I won't let him walk away free. He should feel the weight of what he's done." Sarah touched her hand gently and said, "Just don't lose yourself in the fire, Emma. Revenge can consume more than it heals." Emma's gaze turned sharp, her words deliberate. "I don't plan to heal. I plan to make him pay." That evening, Emma visited her mentor, David, a man who had once endured betrayal of his own. His lined face held quiet wisdom as he said, "Revenge cuts both ways. It feeds the fire but leaves ashes behind." Emma countered, "Then let it burn." He lit the match, "I'll control the blaze." David studied her, sadness flickering in his eyes. "I know the hunger. I lived it. But Emma, once you step into that war, you may not return the same." She clenched her fists. "I don't want to be the same. I want him ruined." David sighed deeply, realizing her path was set. Alone once more, Emma stood before the mirror in her apartment. Her reflection showed a woman broken, yet her eyes glimmered with fire. She whispered, "Ryan, you chose betrayal. Now I choose revenge." The storm outside rumbled like an omen, as her lips curved into a cold smile. The pain had forged something unshakable. She no longer sought his love, only his downfall. That night, Emma began writing in a notebook, listing every weakness, every secret, every crack in Ryan's perfect facade. Her vow was set in ink: he would regret ever leaving her. Emma lay awake at night, staring at the ceiling as Ryan's words replayed like broken glass cutting through her mind. "I never loved you the way I loved her," he had said before walking away. Every syllable echoed like a cruel confession, a declaration that her years of devotion had been meaningless. She pressed her hands against her chest, as if to hold herself together, her heart fractured, but still beating. Sarah had begged her to block his number, but Emma couldn't. Part of her was addicted to the pain, the need to know why. In the silence, her phone lit up with a message from him. "Don't call me anymore." Emma whispered into the darkness, "You left me, Ryan, but you won't forget me." The next morning, Sarah stormed into Emma's apartment with 2 coffees and her fiery temper. "You're not going to let that coward destroy you," Sarah said, slamming the cup on the table. Emma's voice cracked. "He chose her, Sarah. After everything we built, he just replaced me." Sarah knelt down, gripping Emma's trembling hands. "No, he replaced himself. You were loyal, you were real, and he will choke on that truth one day. But not if you keep letting him control you." Emma stared at her friend, torn between collapse and defiance. The thought of Ryan walking hand in hand with Lily stabbed her like knives. Her whisper turned into steel. Then I'll make sure he sees what he lost. Emma forced herself to return to work, but her colleagues' whispers followed her like shadows. She could feel their eyes, the pity in their voices, when they thought she wasn't listening. Ryan moved on so quickly. One said near the copier. "Did you hear? He's already showing Lily off at parties," another replied. Emma's stomach nodded. She smiled faintly at her computer screen, pretending not to hear, but her nails dug into her palms until they left red crescents. In her mind, she replayed every moment she had supported him, late nights editing his pitches, standing by him when no one else believed. She whispered to herself, "He'll regret underestimating me. I'll turn his smug smiles into ash." That evening, Emma scrolled through social media, each photo a dagger. Ryan's arm around Lily, his grin stretched wide like he had never known heartbreak. Comments flooded beneath the post. Power couple. Goals. She's glowing. Emma's throat tightened, the room spinning as she hurled her phone onto the couch. How dare he parade her like a trophy, she hissed, tears threatening to blind her. She grabbed her journal, the one she had used to write about her dreams with Ryan, and ripped out every page that bore his name. In the shredded paper, she found her voice again. "If he wants a war of appearances, then I'll win," she said aloud, her tone rising from brokenness to fire. Sarah dragged Emma out the next night, to a rooftop bar. "If he's flaunting her, you'll remind him who you are," Sarah said firmly, adjusting Emma's black dress. Emma stood nervously at the edge of the crowd, the city glittering behind her. Ryan appeared unexpectedly across the room, his arm around Lily, both laughing as if untouched by guilt. Their eyes met. Ryan's smug smile faltered, just for a second, as he took in Emma's fierce gaze. She didn't look broken. She looked dangerous. Emma lifted her glass slowly, her lips curling into the faintest smile. "This is just the beginning," she whispered, fire sparking in her chest. Emma sat across from Sarah in a quiet cafe, her coffee untouched, her hands restless. "He looked at me last night," Emma said, her voice trembling with a strange mix of pain and power. Sarah leaned forward, her tone sharp. "And you saw it, didn't you? That flicker. He's not as untouchable as he pretends." Emma's lips tightened. "But he still has her, Sarah. Every picture, every laugh, it's like he's erasing me." Sarah shook her head. "No one can erase you. He's showing off because deep down he knows what he lost. You want to win? Don't beg. Don't cry. Outshine him." Emma swallowed hard, her eyes burning with determination. "Then I'll make him watch. Every step I take, every smile, every success. He'll choke on it." At work, Emma poured herself into projects with a fire her colleagues had never seen before. "You've been quiet lately," a coworker remarked, eyes flicking toward her screen filled with graphs and reports. Emma forced a polite smile. "Just focused." Inside she whispered, "Every late night, every piece of success, Ryan will see what he threw away." By evening, her boss stopped by, impressed with her progress. "You've stepped up, Emma. This could lead to bigger opportunities." Emma nodded, though her chest ached with bittersweet irony. Ryan had always told her she wasn't ambitious enough. Now, she was rising without him. Alone in her office, she whispered into the silence, "I don't need his validation. I'll burn brighter on my own." That weekend, Sarah coaxed Emma into attending a friend's gallery opening. The room buzzed with laughter and champagne flutes, clinking. Emma smoothed her dress nervously. "I don't belong here," she muttered. Sarah linked arms with her. "You belong everywhere he thought you didn't." Across the room, Ryan and Lily appeared, all smiles. Emma froze. Lily leaned into Ryan, whispering something that made him laugh. Sarah whispered, "Smile, Emma. Let them see what strength looks like." Emma lifted her chin, offering a smile that masked her fire. When Ryan's eyes landed on her, his laughter wavered, if only for a second. Emma's heart thudded with both pain and triumph. She whispered under her breath, "You can't look away, can you?" Later that night, Emma and Sarah walked home, the city lights shimmering around them. Emma exhaled sharply. Why do I still feel weak, Sarah? Why does seeing them together cut so deep? Sarah squeezed her arm. Because you're human. But weakness isn't forever. Tonight you saw it, his mask slipped. He's not invincible. Emma's jaw tightened. And she thinks she's won. Lily parades like she's queen of his world. But queens can fall too. Sarah grinned, her voice low. Now you're speaking my language. This isn't about begging him back, Emma. This is about reminding him you're the storm he never saw coming. Emma's eyes glittered in the night. Then let the storm begin. Days later, Emma received a notification. Ryan had tagged Lily in another photo, this time from a vacation. The caption read, "Forever, us." Emma's stomach twisted, but instead of breaking, she opened her laptop. "If he wants forever, I'll show him temporary," she murmured. She started drafting a blog post she had once dreamed of publishing. A raw, honest account of betrayal, resilience, and starting over. Not mentioning Ryan's name, but every word bled with the truth of what he had done. Sarah peeked over her shoulder. "You're really going to do this?" Emma's lips curved into a grim smile. "Yes, this is my voice, and he can't silence it anymore." Emma's blog post spread faster than she anticipated. She hadn't used Ryan's name, but the parallels were obvious to anyone who knew. Comments flooded in. "This is my story too. You're stronger than you realize." Sarah called, her voice sharp with excitement. "Emma, people are sharing your words everywhere. You've started something." Emma's throat tightened. "But what if he sees it? What if Lily?" Sarah cut her off. "Then let them choke on the truth. Let them see the world clap for you while they hide behind lies." Emma exhaled, trembling. "It feels like the first time I've breathed in months." But that night, her phone buzzed with an unknown number. The text read, "Careful what you write. Not every secret deserves light." Emma froze, the coffee cup slipping from her hand, shattering against the floor. The next morning, Sarah stormed into Emma's apartment. "Who sent that?" she demanded. Emma rubbed her temples. "I don't know. No name, just a warning." Sarah's voice darkened. "Ryan, it has to be him. He doesn't want the perfect image ruined." Emma shook her head. "But what if it's Lily? She's more calculating than she looks." Sarah leaned closer. "Then they're already scared. That's power, Emma. Don't back down." Emma's voice broke. "Power? I don't feel powerful. I feel like I'm standing on a cliff, and one wrong move." Sarah grabbed her hand. "Then don't fall. Push them first." Emma stared at her, the fire in her chest flickering back to life. Later that week, Emma attended a networking event, determined to show strength. She walked in with Sarah by her side, every detail of her outfit chosen to project confidence. Halfway through the night, Ryan appeared, Lily draped on his arm, their smiles dripping with false perfection. Ryan leaned in too close when Emma passed. "Careful, Emma," he muttered under his breath, his grin never fading for the crowd. "Truth can ruin you just as easily as lies." Emma's jaw clenched, her voice low. "Or it can ruin the ones hiding behind masks." Lily's eyes darted between them, suspicion flickering. Sarah whispered sharply, "Smile. Emma, make him sweat under that mask of his." Emma smiled, wide and unshaken, her hand tightening on her glass until her knuckles turned white. That night, unable to sleep, Emma dug deeper into Ryan's online presence. She scrolled through his posts, the perfect captions, the rehearsed smiles. Then she noticed something, a detail most would miss. A reflection in the background of a photo with Lily, showing Ryan holding another woman's hand. Emma's heart pounded. "He's already betraying her," she whispered. Sarah's voice on the other end of the call was sharp. "Use it. Don't confront them yet. Just keep it. Let him dig his own grave." Emma's voice quivered. "Do I really want to destroy him this way?" Sarah didn't hesitate. "Emma, he destroyed you. This isn't destruction. It's balance." Emma stared at the glowing screen, the reflection haunting her. The next morning, Emma stared at herself in the mirror. "This isn't about begging him back anymore," she whispered. This is about showing him what betrayal feels like. She pressed her palms to the sink, trembling with both fear and resolve. Sarah's words echoed in her head. Push them first. When her phone rang again, the same unknown number flashed. She picked up this time. Ryan's voice slid through the line, calm but venomous. Delete the post, Emma. Walk away and maybe I'll let you rebuild quietly. Emma's voice was steady, even as her hands shook. You took everything from me, Ryan, and now you'll watch me rise from what you tried to bury. The line went silent, but Emma knew this was just the beginning of war. Emma entered the cafe where Ryan and Lily often paraded their happiness. Sarah urged caution, but Emma's rage burned hotter than fear. She spotted them. Ryan's smug grin, Lily's hand curled around his arm. Emma approached, her voice calm but sharp. Ryan, Lily, isn't it exhausting pretending every day? Ryan chuckled softly. Emma, you should really stop humiliating yourself. Lily tilted her head, smugness dripping. Some women just can't let go. Emma's eyes locked on Ryan. Funny, because your reflection tells a different story. Ryan's jaw tensed. Lily's smile faltered. Emma leaned closer. Tell me, Lily, do you know whose hand he was holding in that photo? Silence shattered the room louder than any scream. Ryan tried to laugh it off, but Lily pulled her hand back. What is she talking about? She demanded. Ryan's smile cracked. She's lying. She always lies when she's desperate. Emma pulled her phone from her pocket. The photo open. The reflection undeniable. Is this a lie, Ryan? Because mirrors don't lie. Only you do. Lily's face drained of color. Ryan stood abruptly, voice sharp. You think you're clever, Emma? You think one picture makes you powerful? You don't know what you're getting into. Emma's voice cut him like glass. I know exactly what I'm doing. For the first time, I'm not the one hiding. Lily whispered, trembling. Ryan, is it true? Ryan's silence was the answer. The confrontation spilled into the street. Lily stormed out first, tears streaking her makeup. You used me, she shouted at Ryan. I gave you everything, and you couldn't even stay loyal. Ryan's face twisted with rage. You think she's the victim? Emma always plays the martyr. She wants to destroy me because she can't stand losing. Emma stepped forward, her voice fierce. You didn't just leave me, Ryan. You hollowed me out, made me question if I was worth anything. But you know what? I am worth everything you'll never have again. Lily turned, her voice breaking. And I was just your shield, wasn't I? A pretty distraction, so no one saw what you really were. Ryan's silence condemned him more than words ever could. That night, Ryan showed up at Emma's apartment, uninvited. His fists pounded the door. Emma, open this damn door. We need to talk. Emma stood frozen, Sarah at her side whispering, Don't. He's losing control. But Emma unlocked it, refusing to hide. Ryan stepped inside, his face twisted with desperation. You're ruining me. Do you even understand what you've done? Emma's voice was steady. I exposed you. That's all. He stepped closer, eyes dark. You think the world will love you for this? They'll chew you up and spit you out. But me, I'll rebuild. I always do. Emma raised her chin. Not this time, because everyone finally sees you for who you are. Ryan's hand slammed against the wall beside her, but Emma didn't flinch. For the first time, she wasn't afraid. The next day, Emma released the final blow. She uploaded the reflection photo with the caption, "The truth always shows itself." Within hours, Ryan's business partners began pulling out, clients demanding answers. Sarah hugged Emma tight, whispering, "You did it." Emma's chest trembled with relief and grief. It doesn't feel like victory, she admitted. It feels like breathing after drowning. Across town, Ryan screamed into his phone, his empire unraveling in real time. Lily's silence echoed louder than any curse. Emma stood by the window, the city alive beneath her, whispering to herself, revenge wasn't about hurting him. It was about freeing me. For the first time, her reflection looked back with strength instead of shame. Emma woke to dozens of notifications, her name trending online. People shared her post across platforms, calling her courageous. Yet the pit in her stomach lingered. Sarah arrived with coffee, grinning. Ryan's world is crumbling. His company issued a statement distancing themselves. You burned him down. Emma whispered, then why doesn't it feel like I've won? Sarah's smile softened. Because victory isn't about watching him fall. It's about knowing you stood back up. Emma leaned against the counter, tears pricking her eyes. I thought revenge would feel sweeter. Instead, it feels heavy. Sarah placed a hand on her shoulder. That weight is freedom, Emma. It means you're no longer chained to him. Emma breathed deeply, as though testing those words. Across town, Ryan sat in his darkened office, blinds drawn. His phone buzzed with angry calls he no longer answered. You've ruined me, he muttered into the silence, staring at empty whiskey glasses on his desk. Lily appeared in the doorway, her eyes red from crying. No, Ryan, you ruined yourself. Emma just showed everyone what I already knew. His voice cracked with anger. You're leaving too? Lily's hands shook, but her words were steady. I should have left months ago. I thought you were strong. But you're just a coward hiding behind lies. Ryan's fist slammed against the desk, but Lily didn't flinch this time. She turned and walked out, her heels echoing like the sound of a closing chapter. Ryan collapsed into his chair, the empire head built dissolving like sand slipping through his fingers. Later that evening, Emma and Sarah walked by the waterfront. The city lights shimmered across the water, reflections dancing. Emma whispered, It's strange. For so long I thought I needed him to validate me. I twisted myself into knots just to keep him. And now, without him, I finally feel like I exist again. Sarah nudged her shoulder. You don't just exist, you shine, Emma. You've been carrying scars he gave you, but scars don't mean weakness. They mean you survived. Emma exhaled, her breath visible in the cold air. Maybe I'm not broken after all. Maybe I was just waiting for this moment to finally be whole. Sarah smiled. And you got here without begging him to save you. That's real victory. Emma smiled back faintly, watching the waves. Emma returned home to find a handwritten letter slipped under her door. Her hands trembled as she opened it. The writing was unmistakable, Ryan's. You think you've won, but without me you are nothing. The world will forget you. I was the only thing that made you relevant. Emma read it twice, then tore it slowly into pieces. She whispered aloud, Without you I found myself. That's something you'll never understand. She dropped the pieces into the trash, her hands steady. Sarah called from the kitchen, What was that? Emma smiled faintly. Just ashes of a man who doesn't matter anymore. The air felt lighter, like a house finally rid of ghosts. For the first time, her silence was louder than his words. The following week, Emma sat in a quiet bookstore, her laptop open to a blank document. The cursor blinked steadily, waiting. Sarah had suggested turning her story into something more, not just about Ryan, but about survival, betrayal, and strength. Emma whispered to herself, This isn't just my revenge. This is my redemption. Her fingers hovered, then began to type. Words poured out, pain, betrayal, but also resilience, growth, and power. Across the city, Ryan sat in a crumbling apartment, ignored calls piling up, his name synonymous with betrayal. Lily built her own life far from him, leaving him a relic of lies. Emma typed faster, her heart lighter with every word. For the first time, she wasn't writing to wound. She was writing to heal. Weeks later, Emma walked through a park she once avoided because it reminded her of Ryan. Now the air felt different, lighter. Children's laughter floated on the wind, and for the first time, she didn't flinch at happiness around her. Sarah joined her, carrying hot chocolate. Feels good, doesn't it? Walking without ghosts. Emma smiled faintly. It's strange. For years his shadow followed me everywhere. But now, it's just me, and I'm okay with that. Sarah nudged her. More than okay. You're free. Emma whispered almost to herself. Freedom tastes nothing like revenge. It's softer, but it lasts longer. She inhaled deeply, the winter air filling her chest like a second chance. Ryan sat alone in a shabby motel room, the empire he once flaunted reduced to whispers of disgrace. He scrolled through social media, reading comments that carved into his pride. Liar. Fraud. Coward. His reflection in the cracked mirror seemed foreign, older, worn. He muttered, "They'll forget. They always forget." But even his own voice sounded hollow. Lily's laughter no longer filled the air. She had rebuilt her life far away. Ryan poured another drink, but even whiskey couldn't drown the echo of Emma's words. Mirrors don't lie, only you do. For the first time he believed it. Emma sat at her desk late at night, her laptop glowing. Her story was finished, not a story of revenge, but survival. She titled it, "The Reflection That Saved Me." She whispered aloud, "Not about him anymore. It's about me." Sarah entered quietly, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Ready to share it?" Emma nodded. "This time the world doesn't get the lie. They get the truth." As she hit publish, a calm smile spread across her face. The act wasn't about destroying Ryan anymore. It was about reclaiming herself. And she had. The article spread quickly, people resonating with Emma's words. Messages poured in. "Your story gave me courage. Thank you for telling the truth." Emma read each one, her heart swelling. "Maybe this was always the point," she whispered. "Not revenge. Not him, but to remind myself and others that we are not defined by who breaks us." Sarah smiled proudly. "You turned your pain into something that heals. That's power he'll never touch." Emma's eyes filled, not with sorrow but with gratitude. In the final quiet of night, Emma stood before her mirror. The same mirror where she once saw shame, fear, and brokenness. Now she saw strength. She touched the glass softly, whispering, "You survived, you're free." Her reflection stared back, steady and unshaken. The silence stretched, not heavy, but full, the silence of a woman no longer defined by betrayal. Outside, the city hummed, unaware of her private triumph. Emma smiled faintly, turned off the light, and walked away. The mirror caught her last words, "I win." And with that, the story closed not on Ryan's downfall, but on Emma's rebirth.